I got engaged to a blind duke. Episode 156. I'm a bit tired. Suddenly? She thought, but not knowing what excuse to make, she just blurted out whatever came to mind. Marin tried to get up from his embrace naturally as if playing innocent, but unfortunately stumbled and fell back into his arms. At that moment, their eyes met directly. Marin tried to change the subject somehow, but her mind was in chaos and her words came out wrong. I'm sorry. No. There's nothing to apologize for. Marin felt like crying. Just as silence fell between the two, the bushes rustled. Marin was rather grateful for whatever had broken the awkward atmosphere. But an unexpected being popped out. It was none other than a white furry bunny. Bunny. She jumped up unconsciously in joy, but Gerald hid her behind him. Stay back. When he drew his sword and aimed it at Bunny's large eyes turned sharp. Growl. Wait a moment. Marin quickly grabbed the Duke's hand that held the sword. No matter how much of an apex predator Bunny was, it was no match for him wielding aura. Gerald frowned and removed her hand from his sword. Marin, it's dangerous. Being absorbed in kissing, he had missed a demon beast approaching. It was his mistake. Yes, I know. But that bunny helped me. What? His brow furrowed automatically at the nonsensical words. Marin, did you perhaps have a dream? No. Bunny brought me to War Oasis. Marin shook her head and spoke quickly. What do you mean? The number of demon beasts he had eliminated with his own hands must exceed thousands. He could confidently say no one knew demon beasts better than him. But a demon rabbit helped her? Why? Marin, demon beasts target the weakest first. Even now, between us two, you're weaker, so it came close to you. That's how demon beasts' physiology works. It definitely came to catch you. No, Marin spoke as if frustrated, then turned her head sharply to look at Bunny. Bunny stared at her with wide round eyes. As if it had something to say. Bunny, why did you come here? Bunny's ears perked up as if responding to her words. Gerald's eyes widened at the sight. That demon beast was definitely responding to her voice. Bunny stared at her, then quickly hopped in one direction. Then it came back and quickly hopped in that direction. Again. Marin and Gerald watched Bunny's behavior closely. What does that mean? Doesn't it seem like it's telling us to run? In that direction? Yes. Why? I don't know that either. Marin shrugged and turned her gaze to Bunny. Bunny tapped one foot on the floor with a displeased expression as if asking why they were still there. It was a familiar sight she had seen often while crossing the desert together. I think it's telling us to follow. Just as she took a step, Gerald grabbed her arm and stopped her. Marin, we can't follow a demon beast. But, Bunny kept shooting looks asking why they weren't coming while tapping its foot. Then it suddenly stopped. Bunny watched the opposite direction with a tense expression. At that moment, Gerald caught a green stem flying toward him with one hand. He had heard the sound of grass rustling but thought it was a natural sound and paid no attention. The green stem wrapped around his wrist and pulled hard. Gerald put strength in his feet and resisted. Gerald. Then, another green stem moved like a whip and snatched Marin's waist. Marin floated up into the sky. Kaya. Marin was quickly dragged backward while floating in the air, not even knowing what had snatched her. In an instant, he had lost the woman he loved before his eyes. Gerald tried to cut the green stem wrapped around his wrist with his sword, but it was too much. He needed aura. Could it be the same type as a demon flower? Marin, breathe through your mouth. Gerald shouted as loud as he could, hoping Marin, who had already disappeared from sight, would hear. His pupils trembled incessantly. If Weaker became enchanted by the flower's fragrance, she would lose her reason and die. Damn it. He knew this was the forest where he had encountered demon flowers, but on the day his eyes went blind, all the demon flowers had died. So he had been relieved, but now demon flowers appeared again. Moreover, instead of being rooted in the ground, now they even tied people up with stems and dragged them away. As he tried to cut the stem with Aura and chase after Marin, there was something that ran forward faster than him. It was the demon rabbit. Come to think of it, that demon beast had first indicated a direction as if telling them to flee. He shouldn't have hesitated because he couldn't trust a demon beast. If Marin had trusted that demon beast, he should have followed too. The demon rabbit chased Marin with determined eyes. Gerald also ran following the demon rabbit. Because the medicine Zeromian had given him had run out, his speed was slower than the demon rabbit's. The demon rabbit looked at him with pitying eyes, then increased its speed and quickly disappeared by hopping away. Gerald put strength in his feet and ran with all his might. If Marin got hurt even a little, he would never forgive himself. Marin, breathe through your mouth. Gerald's voice could be heard from far away. Marin followed his advice, breathing through her mouth while desperately trying to assess the situation. She was currently being kidnapped by plant stems. Where on earth were they trying to take her? Marin clasped her hands tightly together with trembling eyes filled with fear and prayed. Lord Gerald, please come quickly. She breathed heavily through her mouth while carefully observing her surroundings. Below, she could only see dense forest. Then, the contracted stem threw her down to the floor. Ugh. She let out a single scream while clutching her waist. Fortunately, the ground was covered with grass, so she wasn't seriously injured. Marin immediately covered her nose with her hand. This was to avoid breathing through her nose even unconsciously. She looked around with a frightened face. It was a flower field filled entirely with flowers. Beautiful flowers larger than her height were clustered together. Could these be demon flowers? The same flowers that had attacked the Duke? She could see hazy smoke spreading through the air above the flower heads. Is that the fragrance that lures people in? The flowers were all bowing their heads in unison as if looking down at her. With their roots planted in the ground, the flower heads followed the direction she moved. The sight was so grotesque that it felt even more frightening. She needed to escape from this place quickly. At that moment, flower stems with bell-like blossoms crawled up like snakes and bound her legs. What is this? Marin was startled and quickly unfastened her bracelet. She struck down with all her might to cut through the stems with her 3-section staff blade. Clang! The blade bounced right off with the sound of striking steel. Good heavens! The flower stems that had been slowly creeping up bound both her arms, one on each side. Let go! Gerald stopped abruptly at the place where he had arrived after chasing the demon beast rabbit. Ha! It was the exact same place where he had been attacked by the demon flowers. A beautiful flower field spread out before his eyes, just like before. The demon flowers had lured him to this place again. He had thought he had eliminated them all back then, but the demon flowers had appeared even larger than before with their tenacious vitality. He gritted his teeth at the demon flower's life force. Grrrr. At the unfamiliar sound, he turned his head to see the demon beast rabbit and demon flowers engaged in fierce combat. The demon beast rabbit struck the tree trunk-like flower stem of a demon flower with its teeth that had grown all the way to its upper body. The flower stem, which hadn't been easily damaged even by aura, was deeply dented. Then, a stem that flew from somewhere wrapped around the demon beast rabbit like a whip and lifted it up. Grrrr. The demon beast rabbit gnawed at the stem wrapped around its body with its teeth. Gerald imbued his sword with aura and cut the stem that was holding the demon beast rabbit. The stem writhed as if in pain and contracted. The demon beast rabbit that fell to the ground glanced at him briefly, then ran forward again. Gerald also ran after the demon beast rabbit. The demon flowers were more ferocious than before. As if obstructing the path to Marin, they continuously attacked Gerald and the demon beast rabbit. Sharp knife-like thorns poured down from the flower stems. Gerald quickly deflected them with his sword, but the demon beast rabbit couldn't avoid some of them. Grrrr, blue blood streamed from the demon beast rabbit's white fur.